because that will add, so if children are at school taking exams, if you go to the hospital, whatever part of, and because we need to find a way of identifying Carlton Smith and Brent Simonet,
Right.
so we can put them into a system.
Yes. And as far as the financial services and the WTO, I expect that very soon you'll roll out an education campaign.
Yep,
on WTO.
very soon. I hope between now and the end of the month, there is I have a matter before Cabinet to discuss about this issue. Hopefully when they decide that, we'll roll that out. And on the financial services side, we're looking at the whole question. The Prime Minister will be going to London very shortly, and some other trips. We'll be doing some promotional trips similar to Texas, so that we can show the world that the Bahamas is the best place in the Caribbean to be for business.
Minister, thank you so much for joining us this evening on You and Your Money. Certainly a pleasure having you.
And good evening.
That does it for this edition of You and Your Money. For the entire TCL Group, I'm Carlton Smith.
Tonight's You and Your Money was brought to you by Majestic Holidays, Shield Insurance, Lampkin Knowles & Co., Cole Insurance, and the Grand Bahama Business Outlook.
I guess I was too big-eyed. You promised me so much. I gave up my time, my friends, my connections, and my contacts. And this is how you treat me? I should have never left my mean squeeze for this side piece. And all these funny numbers and things.
Why switch when you can stay with the company that covers every island, rock, and key? BTC, every day.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, environmental stability. The Inter-American Development Bank assisting in the maintenance of conch preservation. Employment boost. The Ministry of Labor's job initiative dubbed a huge success. Economic recovery. The Chamber of Commerce preparing to release its State of the Economy report.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC, every day.
Conservationists ensuring that the country has enough conch for the future. Good Thursday evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. It's always good to see you. With the Bahamas' conch resources in decline, the Japanese government is giving the Bahamas National Trust a helping hand in preserving the well-loved Bahamian delicacy. Today, officials signed documents for a $500,000 grant provided through the Japan Special Fund Poverty Reduction Program that's facilitated through the Inter-American Development Bank. The IDB Country Director for the Bahamas, Maria Florencia Atadimo Hurt, says the IDB believes the conservation initiative must be supported, while Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, describes the support as timeless.
That is why we also believe that involvement of the communities is key. This is not just something we do, with international support and hear from NASA. We need to go and talk to the fishermen, to the people who have lived out of conch harvesting for their whole lives.
No doubt, the results from the project will add value or enhance current information on conch harvesting and conservation. Moreover, I do believe that the stakeholders involved in advancing this initiative will ensure that appropriate measures are proposed to the government in respect to the sustainability of conch fisheries in the Bahamas.
Deputy Prime Minister Turnquest told our news team today that the pending introduction of Oban Energy to Grand Bahama will represent a game changer for that island and its economy. The multi-billion-dollar project will include a $4 billion oil refinery and a $1.5 billion terminal, and it's also set to add 600 direct jobs and 1,000 indirect jobs. Now, the Deputy Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama says the technology used in the construction will also be based on the latest technology. and he assured it will lend no risk to East Grand Bahama. Minister Turnquest also noted that any emissions from the plant will be within acceptable ranges.
The opportunity that exists for the further development as a result of this investment are tremendous. As you know, if you were to just look at the Borco facility and what it represented to the development of the Freeport area when it was in the actual refining business, you would understand how important and what kind of economic impact that had on the development of Grand Bahama. All of the chemical engineers and the mechanical engineers and all of those trade and technical skills that exist in Grand Bahama came out of that development. We anticipate the same kind of effect on East End residents and on the Grand Bahama as a whole with respect to this project.
Crossing over now to business news, first at 6, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation taking a proactive approach to help steer the country into economic recovery. Now, the Chamber plans to release its second State of the Economy report that will take an in-depth look at the country's economic standing as well as the demands necessary to achieve tangible results. Chamber of Commerce CEO Edison Sumner said it's important that the ease of doing business remains a priority in the economic recovery efforts. He noted that the high-level upcoming meeting will also attract several foreign representatives who will share ways to ensure that the country benefits from the ease of doing business.
There are signs of some recovery in place. We're not where we want to be yet. All right, we're not out of the woods, notwithstanding that the IMF has given us a better report. All right, so we're looking at a certain rate of growth in the economy. So we're not where we want to be, but we are seeing that there are some signs that there is some recovery in place.
The Chamber CEO also told the media today that he can see economic recovery is progressing.
We heard recently about the government's announcement about a multi-billion-dollar development deal that's happening in Grand Bahama. We know that the Grand Bahama we're talking about through the Grand Bahama Tech Summit, there's a lot of emphasis now being placed on Grand Bahama, Freeport in particular, and that is how do we turn Freeport into the new tech hub for the country, and effectively or essentially developing Freeport into becoming the tech hub for the region.
Now to news from Parliament, first at 6. In the Senate this morning, Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, announcing that over 800 Bahamians here in the province have gained employment from the Ministry and Department of Labor's initiative called Labor on the Blocks. Minister Fowlkes revealed that the next Labor on the Blocks will be held between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. this Saturday on Columbus Park in Freeport.
I'd like to encourage all job seekers in Grand Bahama, that those who are coming out to bring some form of identification, preferably your NIB card or your passport or your voter's card. We also want to encourage you to have a valid email address. We register you in our data bank, so for future requests from employers in Grand Bahama, we'll be able to send you on interviews. The second process is that you will have an opportunity to be interviewed by some 21 companies.
Now to a health story we've been updating for you. The Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, confirmed to our news team that the screening process for tuberculosis throughout the country continues. Among the latest stop for health teams, he says, is the Garventines Primary School here in the Providence. Minister Sands says 25 to 30% of the world's population suffers from tuberculosis. And he says the Bahamas has a low incidence country and he and his team wants to keep it that way. As far as medicine is concerned, Minister Sands says there is an ample supply and he's also encouraging more residents to get the flu shot.
We have identified a handful, maybe 10 total students, staff, administrative support personnel who have been skin tested to be positive. Those individuals do not meet the case definitions for tuberculosis. In the Bahamas in 2016, we had 89 active cases of TB. In 2017, it appears as if we'll come in under 60. We want to keep it that way. And so aggressive screening campaigns like this, where we can identify those individuals who have been exposed to tuberculosis, are very important to control TB.
The Board of Directors of the National Health Insurance Authority announcing the appointment of Graham Whitmarsh as its interim managing director effective February 19th. Mr. Whitmarsh will report to the NHIA Board of Directors and lead the expanded and accelerated implementation of NHI here in the Bahamas. Now, the board expects a permanent Bahamian managing director will be appointed to lead NHI within 2 to 3 years. Whitmarsh previously worked on NHI with PricewaterhouseCoopers and is familiar with the opportunity and challenges associated with expanding and improving healthcare in the Bahamas. Prior to his stint in the public sector, he served as a senior executive and president in the private sector, both in Canada and the United States. He's also served as director of the First Nations Health Authority. Well, the Ministry of Health launching the National HIV/AIDS Program's HIV Continued Medical Education for Physicians. Ministry of Health surveillance reports indicate that there are 8,667 people living in the Bahamas with HIV, and health ministry officials encourage physicians to continue their education and training in this area. Now, one of the objectives of the training warrants that all persons with HIV have the opportunity to consult with their primary care physician in a private clinical setting in their community. Health officials anticipate that this approach will also act as an impetus for persons who are presently not on antiretroviral medication to seek care and receive life-saving medication. Well, the police receiving some much-needed equipment today. We're just getting started. First at 6. More news is on the next side of the break.
Happy birthday, Ariana. Happy birthday to you. What's this for?
I got me recess on cake for you.
Ever since you guys moved to the Family Islands, I have missed so many birthdays.
Yes, Mummy. We gotta thank BTC for bringing the internet to our community.
You're right, honey. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Grammy. Say bye, Grammy.
Commonwealth Bank, MasterCard, and SunCard MasterCard. The perfect team.
Using my Commonwealth Bank MasterCard is so easy. It's accepted around the corner and around the world.
Commonwealth Bank SunCard MasterCard lets you buy something Bahamian with something Bahamian. SunCard MasterCard will be accepted wherever you see the MasterCard logo throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Local bank, local card, local purchases. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
With KFC's Family Deal, everything is under control.
Dad genius.
Enjoy our family deal with 8 pieces of freshly prepared chicken, large family fries, and 4 biscuits. All for just $20 including VAT. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, attended a ceremony commemorating the opening of the Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel last week. The Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the Bahamas, His Excellency Wang Qingguo, and his wife hosted the event that also featured the Governor General, cabinet ministers, members of the judiciary, senior public service officers, and members of the Chinese community right here in the Bahamas. Minister Henfield said the Spring Festival is a very important celebration on the Chinese calendar and noted that the government appreciates and welcomes China's continued support with respect to mutually supported candidacies, cultural exchanges, cross-training, visa-free travel, and business investments. And he says the government looks forward to finalizing the Civil Air Services Agreement, which will help to stimulate economic growth. Now, last year, the Bahamas and the People's Republic of China commemorated a significant milestone as both countries celebrated the 20th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. We can also tell you tonight that the United States Embassy here in Nassau donated $245,000 worth of equipment to the Royal Bahamas Police Force this morning. U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Denver Harron says the tools will help to protect officers in high-profile operations.
Every day around the world, a line is drawn between chaos and calm. Standing on that line are the men and women of law enforcement. People who have made a conscious decision to place their lives on the line to defend the calm, to protect the innocent, to enforce the law. This is a noble cause. Here, Bahamian and U.S. law enforcement officials come together in this noble pursuit. However, they take it one step further. Instead of merely defending the calm or remaining on the line, they descend into the chaos to prevent crime, to curb the flow of illegal firearms, and reduce the demand for illicit drugs. Bad operations led to the seizure of 915 kilograms of cocaine, nearly 57,000 pounds of marijuana, and 15,580 marijuana plants, leading to the arrest of 148 drug traffickers. These are tangible results demonstrating the merit of our joint operations. Our combined efforts have reduced the flow of illegal drugs and increased public safety and security for both of our nations.
Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson thanked the U.S. Embassy for the donation of ballistic protective gear and other equipment that will help operations of the Drug Enforcement, Marine, and Strike Force units.
These items, no doubt, will enhance the capabilities and provide protection for the officers concerned while carrying out their duties to provide safer communities. I must also say that the U.S. Embassy and its employees have always been a strong supporter of law enforcement in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so, for those reasons, we will remain united and continue to fight the cause that we are mandated to.
The grand opening of Bahamar at Rosewood, the newest hotel property at the multi-billion-dollar resort in Cable Beach, is anticipated for this coming spring. And Managing Director Luigi Romaniello was the guest speaker at Rotary Club of East Nassau at the East Villa restaurant on Bay Street yesterday. He informed a group of Rotarians that the local opening of the 22 hotel chain is extremely important to the business. He promised the hotel to be more than just a physical structure. It will bring about an experience from beginning to end. He highlights what will set Rosewood apart from all other properties.
Because they often ask you, why is Rosewood different and what do you do special, to make your brand better than others? And with that, we have this philosophy of this guiding principle of a sense of place. So a sense of place to us means that we go into a market and we try to really expand on the local culture, the history, and trying to be authentic to wherever we are. We don't want to be creating something that doesn't belong here, that is fake, that comes a bit, dishonest. We want it to be certainly true to where we are. The other thing about Rosewood, about contributing to the community, is also to grow our associates. 40 managers came on board, and I just did a speech about them coming on board and all of that. And I see that most of them were Bahamians.
While still talking Bahamar, several business websites, including thebusinessinsider.com, is reporting today that the Bahamar Resort is hiring a CFO, Chief Flamingo Officer. The online article said the Chief Flamingo Officer will be responsible for supervising the resort's flamingos that are expected to arrive this spring. Now, the title is interchangeable with Avian Manager. Successful applicants will have to have a degree in zoology or comparable field experience, a minimum of 5 years working with exotic birds, flamingos specifically, at least 1 year of experience as a supervisor or manager, and many other related skills. The online article also said, according to the job listing, Bahamar's Chief Flamingo Officer will be responsible for caring for the property's flamingo collections and for creating a beach sanctuary experience that will leave a lasting impression on guests. Now, the article also said Bahamar will accept applications for the CFO position, which was posted in early January until late February.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
The wait is over. The Music Project is here. Experience the excitement, creativity, and talent from 13 of the nation's top high school pop bands. Saturday, February 17th, 2018, 2 p.m. at the Botanical Garden. Tickets available at Airbrush Junkies, Mario's Bowling, and all participating schools. Adults 15, students 10 in advance, more at the door. Children under 5 are free. Gates open at 2 p.m. That's the Music Project. Are you ready?
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Hi, good evening and welcome to this first look at sports on a Thursday. I am Julian Gibson. Well, the countdown is on for the Bahamas High School Basketball Nationals. Evan Wisdom brings us up to date.
We are very, very excited on our end. We are still waiting for some confirmation from the Ministry of Finance with regards to our funding, but on our end, everything is planned. And once that comes to fruition, it looks like we're going to be March the 22nd through 26th. Now, the reason why we have so far back in the month is because you have Carifta. Carifta is an international event, not a national event. And so that international event regarding our country takes precedence. So we had the trials for Carifta on the same date that we had planned to have the basketball. Well, Carifta takes precedence over that, and so we moved it back. But we're extremely excited because the level of basketball in the country, in our humble estimation, has improved because of these national tournaments. And so what you have now is you have a lot of schools that are underdogs that are actually winning. So it's making the games more exciting, sponsors wanting to come in, Bahamians looking at it. As a matter of fact, people from all over the world looking at our players and where Buddy Hield comes from and where all these fantastic players come from.
Well, the Nationals are weeks away. Up next on Monday will be the start of the Hugh Campbell basketball tournament. Our Charles Fisher tells us who will be playing in the 4 pools.
Running the fast break and hoping to be crowned Hugh Campbell champs in Pool 1, Anatole Rogers, Queen's College, Agape, Aaron Bailey, Telios, St. George's, and C.R. Walker. Pool 2, Tabernacle Baptist Falcons, Westminster, Gateway Christian Academy, out of Abaco, Government High, St. Anne's, Bishop Michael Alden, and C.V. Bethel. Pool 3, Sunland Baptist, South Andres, C.I. Gibson, Temple Christian, Mount Carmel, and Clement Howell out of the Turks and Caicos. Pool 4, C.C. Sweeting, the defending champs, St. John's College, Abaco Central, Doris Johnson, Kingsway Academy, Jack Hayward, and Aquinas.
We have moved from the blind pools in a similar fashion, with the teams remaining in their respective pools. The pools, we have a total of 28 teams. Each pool has 7 teams in it. You would stay within your pool until you get to the pool championship, where you would then have Pool 1 will cross over and play Pool 4. Pool 2 will end up crossing over and playing in Pool 3.
Technical Director Reggie Forbes indicating that a lot went into making all 4 pools balanced.
We follow the regular season of the Grand Bahamian play. We follow the private school play. We follow the public school play. And we try to, throughout the season, and see how the teams are playing and how they're progressing. Many of the teams in Providence, I have a chance to go in and observe as they compete both in the public and private sector. There was arrangement this year for me to go into Freeport, and we are pretty well pleased with the team performance and their play.
The tournament also with some rule changes.
We brought on board BBF, the Bahamas Basketball Federation. The national officials from that federation will be officiating the games in the Hugh Campbell this year. In addition to that, I'd like to inform the coaches that we will be using a shot clock, 24-second shot clock. So come prepared to utilize the shot clock. It will be used from the beginning and throughout the tournament.
Monday is tip-off, AF Arley Gym, the place to be. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Private school track and field championships got started yesterday. SAC led yesterday, and one of the reasons they led, Otto Lang in the hurdles, but he was simply ruling.
Coming through this race, I felt good. I'm trying my best to just do my best, and I just came home strong.
And from sailing, Keith Braun, he will be on the Campari Lady Natalie come this weekend in the Catch Me If You Can regatta.
I'm excited about this race. I'm always excited when the Master come around. It's a good thing, bringing people together, and boats together and sailors and everybody. So I'm excited about it. It's a fun thing too as well, whereby the competition is stiff and we have to try every time we meet these guys to beat them. It ain't easy trying to beat them A-class, but once we get a win, that's the exciting part about it.
Well, that's a quick check on sports on this Thursday. Stay tuned. First at 6 continues after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
When you're looking for clothing, you can shop from store to store. But when you need formal wear for your wedding, prom, or any black tie event, there's only one place to shop. Buttons Bridal and Formal Wear. Since 1986. Enjoy gowns and tuxedos for any budget. We'll see you at Buttons Showroom in Cable Beach, Nassau. Or visit buttonsformalwear.com. Nobody does formal wear like Buttons.
The wait is over. The Music Project is here. Experience the excitement, creativity, and talent from 13 of the nation's top high school pop bands. Saturday, February 17th, 2018, 2 p.m. at the Botanical Garden. Tickets available at Earbrush Junkies, Mario's Bowling, and all participating schools. Adults 15, students 10 in advance, more at the door. Children under 5 are free. Gates open at 2 p.m. That's the Music Project. Are you ready?
It's back and even better than before. The return of Caribbean Newsline. Catch the latest news.
The drug dealers in this country are clearly targeting young American girls.
Sport. Business.
It is here that billions of dollars are invested, now the subject of tight scrutiny.
Financial condition of CIB, ECO, and British American threaten the interest of depositors.
Caribbean lifestyle and entertainment.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
In news from the region, 13 people have been arrested in connection with an alleged plot to disrupt Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. And Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has insisted that the threat was no joke and there are still serious security concerns about the security of the Twin Island state. Now, last Thursday, police in Trinidad and Tobago reported that they had uncovered and thwarted the threat, with 4 men being arrested that day. Acting Commissioner of Police Stephen Williams said that in addition to detaining several more suspects, none of whom has yet been released, more raids are being conducted. Well, the Caribbean Tourism Organization released its Caribbean Tourism Performance Report 2017 today, noting that the Caribbean tourism reached another milestone last year, surpassing 30 million stay-over tourist visits for the first time and reaching an estimated $37 billion in total visitor spending. Now, despite the devastating September hurricanes, the performance in 2017 was primarily supported by sustained economic growth in all of the major source markets. And Tennessee resident Gerald Johnson now has a state-of-the-art implant that has given him a new lease on life since he sought medical treatment for heart failure at the Health City Cayman Islands Hospital. Doctors there use the pioneering technique, the cardiac contractility modulation, that's unavailable elsewhere in the region. The American citizen, who had exhausted the medical options available to him on the U.S. mainland, recounted how his cardiac failure was decreasing his quality of life and how American doctors could not do anything for him or his heart.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, it was a beautiful day around the $700 with lots of sunshine. However, there was some brisk winds in the central and southeastern islands, which caused a caution flag to go up for you boaters in the central and southeastern islands. And that's from the Exumas all the way down to Inagua in the south. But outside of our studios just now, we have a few clouds, your temperature 77 degrees, relative humidity at 54%, winds out of the northeast at 8 knots, your barometric pressure 1,024.1 millibars. That is 30.24 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at what at 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks so much, Basil. That does it for First at 6 on this Thursday. It's time now for a check on stories making news around the Northern Bahamas.
A warning to persons operating illegal businesses. School board members learning about their role in the education system. And a pickled festival on tap for the West.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority addressing the issue of illegal business operations in the city area. This coming weeks after a concern was made by small business licensees in the port area. Assistant City Maintenance Manager at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Renato Karayohu, is assuring business owners and residents that there are proper channels in place that everyone wishing to do business in the city of Freeport must adhere to. He says unlicensed businesses will not be tolerated.
This continued activity creates an environment of unfair competition for the business owners who have gone through the proper procedures to operate within the port area. Therefore, we are appealing to persons conducting business from unapproved premises to cease and desist because it is a violation of the restrictive covenants outlined in the deed of conveyance and the general policies of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. While we are mindful that these are challenging economic times, we request that persons who wish to obtain a business license or vendor's permit do so.
Karayahu says that anyone wishing to operate a business, whether in the long term or temporary businesses, such as seasonal businesses that cater to Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, must apply for a license.
In doing our routine inspections, we have noticed the increased activity of unlicensed vendors popping up, particularly during these seasonal times. And we request that those persons come into the Customer Relations Department to apply for a temporary vendor's permit. The staff is very helpful and they'll guide them through the process. Also, we have noticed an increase of auto repair garages within residential areas. Those issues cause environmental concerns because you have the instance of fluids leaching into the surface groundwater. And that has many implications to the community.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Gregory Lockhart says that a zero-tolerance approach will be taken toward any business operating illegally.
Once a person breaches or sets up shop without a proper business license, they can be arrested, charged, and taken before the court. And once they are placed before the court, it will be the duty, or it's up to the magistrate to issue or levy a fine as it pertains to their breach.
And for those businesses that are licensed, Lockhart is reminding those establishments to also operate within the confines of the law.
There are vendors here in the community that are licensed by the Port Authority, and I'm sure on those vendors' permit, it is outlined their hours of operation, where they should operate, and how they should operate. We encourage those vendors to stick within the parameters and guidelines of their vendor's permit. Failure to do this will result, that's another breach, and it could result in your vendor's permit being revoked.
School board members taking part in a workshop this morning at the Church of the Ascension. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Michael Pintard, spoke on behalf of the Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeff Lloyd, who is currently out of the country. Pintard says there is a need for a cohesive operating system, and it is his hope that each board member leaves the workshop armed with greater knowledge about their roles and responsibilities.
Where the school board not only focus on the financial management of scarce resources and to make sure that to have an interest in terms of how the curriculum is constructed, to have a voice, because they are an extension of the community, a voice in the discipline of our students, the cleanliness of the school environment, as well as the medical state of our students.
He says the purpose of the board is of the community as well.
To play as citizens a greater role in the management of our own affairs. School boards is about decentralizing government control of the educational system and us taking greater responsibility for what our school does and what our students become.
The Barry and Sheena Johnson murder trial continued today in the Supreme Court, but the morning session did not go as planned, as one of the attorneys, Jeffrey Farquharson, who is representing defendant Paul Belizaire, requested copies of a report that he said he would need in order to continue his cross-examination on Sergeant 772 Lorenzo Johnson. Justice Estelle Gray Evans then adjourned the trial to 12:30 p.m. to allow the attorney to deal with that matter. Paul Belizaire, Devon Hall, and Kevin Dames are all accused of killing the Johnsons at their home in September 2015. They are facing 2 counts of murder and armed robbery. 3 foreign nationals taken before the court today and charged with overstaying and illegal landing. We are told that the 3 men, 2 Ecuadorians and 1 Dominican, were traveling in a van in the area of the Fishing Hole Road when they were stopped by police. The men were unable to produce proof of legal status. It was later discovered that the 2 Ecuadorians had overstayed their visitor status, while the Dominican national was unable to present proof of legal entry into the country. In court today, the Ecuadorian pled guilty to overstaying and was convicted and ordered to pay $3,000 or, in default, serve 2 years in prison. The Ecuadorians were ordered deported upon payment of the fine or completion of their custodial sentence. Meantime, the Dominican national pled guilty to illegal landing and was ordered to pay a fine of $3,000 or, in default, serve 1 year in prison. He was ordered to be deported upon payment of fine or after serving the custodial sentence. The past few weeks have been challenging for the H. Forbes Charter Services Company. The leading tour agency on Grand Bahama has been faced with a number of unfortunate incidents, including a fatal accident and a fire that destroyed nearly 20 vehicles. This morning, the management and staff of the company paused to seek God's guidance and protection as they chart the way forward. Tonight, Sabrina Brown tells us that a number of religious leaders and industry partners attended that service.
We ask the Lord that He will bless Brother Forbes and all his endeavor. Children, the Lord will make a way somehow, Lord.
I believe that the best is ahead of you. I'm here to tell H. Forbes that you're going to be bigger, better, stronger, and faster.
Religious leaders came highly charged, bearing words of encouragement as they admonished the management and staff of H. Forbes Charter Services to stand fast during these challenging times.
Great things are about to happen for Forbes Charter and the Forbes family, because if God allowed this to happen, then he wants us to move to a higher height.
We had the fire, but God said, I'm going to deliver you from them. The traffic fatality, God said, I'm going to deliver you from them. Those who were in accident, God said, I'm going to deliver you from the noisome pestilence.
And he has moved so many mountains out of my way. Oh, God is a wonderful God.
Director at the Ministry of Tourism Betty Bethel Moss and sales manager at Castaways Resort Vernon Grant say H. Forbes Charter plays a vital role in the local tourism product.
An impression was made on the travel community in the United States, Canada, wherever we traveled with Hadley, because he demonstrated professionalism when he walked into those agencies and told them what experience he can deliver to their clients. He exceeded that experience.
Castaway Resort have been partnering with Mr. Forbes for years. As the largest ground transportation on the island of Grand Bahama in the Bahamas, it is incumbent upon us to give you the support.
Owner of H. Forbes Charter, Hadley Forbes, is grateful for the support of the community and renewed his commitment to Grand Bahama's economy.
God gave me this business. God is going to support, strengthen, and this business will go on.
H. Forbes staff members received a special anointing at the end of the service. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues in just a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Come on down now
to the plant nursery at Dolly Madison for Dieffenbachia, mums, bromeliads, passion,
corn plants,
fire, anthuriums, valentine,
hydrangeas,
romance, begonias, spectacular, ferns, ornamental, ficus, palms, and the most spectacular selection of roses on the island. Guaranteed to heighten the spark of romance in your life. Dolly's got all the favorites that are sure to make this Valentine's extra special.
Come on down now.
This Saturday, February 17th, the Department of Labor and local companies invite you to Labor on the Blocks job fair at the Columbus Park from 11 until 4 p.m.
Why shop abroad when there is Bellevue Business Depot, your one-stop shop for all your complete business solutions and office supplies. Come and explore our new furniture showroom where you can find desks, chairs, filing cabinets, and bookcases for your home and office. Need to accessorize that desk? Our wide range of electronics where we have laptops, speakers, printers, televisions, routers, and much, much more. We also specialize in computer repairs and IT support. Don't have a computer? No problem. Come enjoy our low rates at our cyber center or let our professional trained staff at the business center satisfy all of your printing needs where we do house plans, funeral programs, weddings, and discounts for all teachers and churches. While waiting on your prints, purchase a mocha at our coffee cafe where we also serve fresh Bahamian patties and pastries. All here at Bellevue Business Depot, Queens Highway, Freeport. Store hours 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday and Saturdays 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. Bellevue Business Depot.
Soul Sisters and House of Hoops and Dreams 5th Annual Concert, February 17th, 8 p.m. at the BMES Auditorium. Theme is The Love Boat. Tickets are $25. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Back. West End is a popular weekend hangout for residents looking for that down-home seafood delicacy, be it fried fish, conch salad, or conch fritters. While some vendors in West End have combined resources to host the first ever pickle festival featuring various seafood.
It's something different. It's something that
that is peculiar, that is unique. And the only way, I can't even describe how it tastes, the only way you'll know if you actually taste it.
And what co-manager of Shabo's Conch stand, Sherika Smith-Pinder, is describing is pickled conch. She is inviting the entire community to satisfy your curiosity at the first annual Pickled Conch Fest. Pinder says she is grateful to Grand Bahamians who have continued to support the West End community through the good and the bad.
We've been hitting every which way. This must be our third or fourth jack. But as West Enders, we are resilient people. We come back and we come back strong. So what we do, we just come with something else different to bring it to the people. And I see that the Freeporters, they come down and they see that, you know what, we're committed to even being here, even though we've been through hell a lot, because we had about 9 feet of water in our home and stuff, and we still make it a way to come out here and on table and thing and still make salad for them. So, you know, the business has been up and down, but we didn't give up.
Pinder says that she is constantly inspired to be creative with the Bahamian delicacy. She says she knows that Bahamians are always on the hunt for something new and innovative, and she aims to stay ahead of the game.
But I want to be different. I want to come up with something totally different. I want to make that wow factor, because Bahamians, we get so what should I say? We get lax, and then not only that, you know, we get bored at times. We want to try something new all the time. So, you know, here it is. And hopefully next 2 or 3 weeks I come up with something else new.
She says that her inspiration comes from a God-given passion.
Just trying to be different. And not only that, there's nothing here in Grand Bahama right now. It's so slow and stuff. And the reason why, I guess, I came up with all of the ideas and stuff, because all of my resumes are all over the place. And I say, you know what, something deep down inside. One of the pastors gave that to me and said, you know what, something inside of you have to bring out. And I can't do it to you, you have to go to God for yourself. So I would say all the inspiration, all of that really and truly come from God.
The first annual Pickle Fest will kick off at 4 p.m. The 5th annual concert, hosted by the Soul Sisters and House of Hoops and Dreams, is scheduled for this Saturday night. The concert is a fundraiser to provide more space to accommodate the residents.
House of Hoops and Dreams is a ministry that was founded by myself back in 1999, whereby young boys from various family islands come to Grand Bahama seeking higher education, seeking better exposure and experience in sports, and to seek to go off to college with whatever sport their heart desire, and also getting into the workforce. This weekend, this fundraiser, first of all, will be lots of fun and very entertaining. It's going to be a show that probably if you were in Vegas, you'd have to spend about $100 to $150 to see the show. This is a really, really very, very well put together and organized show.
Soul Sisters was formed for the main purpose of raising funds for the ministry. Patrice Moore is a member of the group, and 2 of her sons were residents of the House of Hoops and Dreams. The concert will be held at the Bishop Michael Eldon Auditorium at 8 p.m.
If you ask anybody who knows Bonnie Bass, then they could tell you that she will go beyond the call of duty to help any human being. As long as you're a human being and you're in need of help, whatever it is, she'll go out of her way to help you. And so I had no reservation when we came up with the idea of using our talents, musical talents and abilities, to help her raise funds.
And now to our 5 Days of Love series. Tonight we feature a couple who knows that marriage really matters. Married for 25 years and the parents of 6 children, this couple, Reverend Elvis and Stephanie Burrows, say their relationship with God is the reason for their success to date.
I think August
1979 when Stephanie and I met at the Rand Memorial Hospital. She was a summer student at the time, and I went to visit a friend of mine at the lab. And as I was leaving the lab, I saw this lovely, rosy cherry-looking young lady walking up the steps, and my eyes immediately caught her eyes, and I say, wow, she must be the one. And
the first thing I noticed was those legs. He had on some short pants, and I was like, wow, what legs. And he had a head full of hair, really nice hair, he did. And he still has nice legs, although his hair is gone. But in talking to him and getting to know him, I noticed he was quiet, quite reserved.
She really looked lovely, and so I went inside the lab and inquired who she was. And a lady, actually Erica Pratt at the time, she's Erica Kemp, the prosecutor. She introduced me to her, and I'm very thankful to her to this day.
Yes, it was.
We share the same spiritual values, the same spiritual goals. We start, most days we start our days off with prayer together, with each other and for each other. We worship together, we work together in ministry.
When we met, he was doing some classes in College of the Bahamas with his associate degree. And then after that, we got married. He did his bachelor's degree. We had some children. He did his master's degree. We had some more children, and he did his doctorate degree. So I always saw that passion of learning from him. And the way he learned in school with education, he used the same way with his Bible. He used the same way with his wife, getting to know her in an understanding way, and also with the children.
With the same priorities, pulling in the same direction, and trying to make each other satisfied and fulfilled has been one of the driving forces for the success of our relationship. Not that we have not had challenges, but we've always tried to resolve those issues in a timely manner.
We came to some compromise, because it wasn't always that I agreed with him, but then because he is the leader of the house, and I recognize that and honor that, and also I would compromise and want peace in the house, so many times I would just go along for what he said.
God as the center of our relationship, and seeking to build on that relationship with God, it helps our relationship, and that has been by far the driving force behind the success of our relationship to date.
And now it is time to Ask the Doctor.
Hi and welcome. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Peggy from Freeport asked this question. I eat a lot of blueberries in my fruit salad and in my oatmeal because I heard it's good for your heart. Is this true? Thanks for such an interesting question, Peggy. And the short answer to your question is yes. Berries have been shown in clinical and epidemiological studies to be good for your heart health. In general, fruits and vegetables are high in antioxidants, but berries in particular have a high level of antioxidants called flavonoids, which researchers have shown possibly improve circulation through blood vessels, prevents plaque buildup in arteries, and promote healthy blood pressure. There are 6 berries that researchers believe, if consumed a few times a week, can have great health benefits, like lowering your risk for a heart attack and cardiovascular disease. These are strawberries, blueberries, acai berries, raspberries, blackberries, and cranberries. Berries are not only colorful and tasty, they're also low in calorie and a great source of fiber, folic acid, calcium, and vitamin C. So consider starting your day with adding a few berries to your oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothie. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Don't go away, Ricardo Lightburn is up next with the Check on Sports.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Steppin' Out. Satisfy your style habits with shoes for every occasion. Steppin' Out, when you want to put your best foot forward.
Excuse me, Mr. Arnold. I overheard you talking to Bree about BIBT. But I didn't hear you tell her about the new bachelor's degree program. Check it out, man. I already signed up.
New bachelor's degree program. Accounting, business administration, human resource management, convenient evening classes, affordable tuition, accelerated completion time, and they approved by NACOP. Boy, she ain't gonna never have to leave this island. I can call her right now. Homeboy, do me a favor, eh? Stop overhearing my conversations.
Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology. Phone us today. Freeport Campus 351-2673 or Nassau Campus 325-2016. BIBT, pursuing knowledge, applying wisdom.
Grand Bahama, you don't want to miss Love and Laugh Comedy Show, brought to you by Flying High Promotions. 7 p.m. Saturday, March 3rd at a Social Affair Convention Center. Tickets $30 in advance.
All last year, I fell in love with Belinda. But this year, I want to just kick it up a notch.
Did you hear about our new bamboo line?
When he started talking about you can still on TV.
Hold on, Dr. Love. Not that type of bamboo you're talking about. You ain't hear about the nice bamboo sheet. And you can get it in all colors. And if you ain't want it in the sheets, Dr. Love, you can get it in the pillows.
Thank God for island bedding.
Number 5, Queen's Highway Island Bedding.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Sports member Carter Lightbourne, and tonight this one goes out to Jensen Cooper Jr. and also Randallette Roll. They got engaged, folks, and asked me to be the page boy in this one, and I said yes, so I'll be in the wedding very soon. And the Grand Bahama Secondary School Athletic Association Championship, folks, they started the Grand Bahama Sports Complex, and here is what happened in the age divisions this year. Let me tell you that you have in the girls bantam, that's for the 13 under division. The under 15 athletes will compete in the junior division, intermediate division, under 17 boys and girls. The senior will feature the under 20 as well. Now, the field events they had to start off the competition, the javelin for the junior intermediate girls, as well as a shot put intermediate boys and junior and senior. Meet director is Emmett Higgins, who says that the first day was a bit of a test, but they hope that they'll pick it up as they move along.
As of tomorrow, we basically going to start out with 2,000 and 3,000 open. Then we're going to move to the hurdle events. We also have the 400-meter heats and the 110 and 100-meter hurdles. This meet is going to be an exciting one because we've got some potential CARIFTA qualifiers. The kids have been working extremely hard, and we're going to see the fruits of their labor.
Well, there was some hitches on the opening of it. Buddy says that the support staff actually will in turn be coming on, and so things are going to go well into the weekend.
We didn't have as much officials as we had anticipated, so we sought the assistance of the phys ed teachers. As of tomorrow, I think we're going to have a full complement of officials to officiate the meet, and which will result in a smoother sailing.
So fans are in for 4 days of exciting track and field.
Absolutely, absolutely. We want to encourage the parents to come out and support their kids, because these kids, you know, once they see their families in the stands, they go there and they perform extremely hard. You can come out and pull for the school of your choice, but you know you're going to get an exciting 4 days of track and field.
Now the pass of Sister Beatrice Russell, they close out leading the competition junior division, 74 points, followed by Jack Hayward Jr. with 54, Tabernacle at 38, and Bishop Michael Eldon right there as well with 28 and Sunland 24. Now the senior division, it was Jack Hayward who got the pretty good start, 113 and 5 points. Also St. George's 112, Tabernacle was 106, BMA 78, Igmarok with 31, and also we're waiting for Phil Page to give us all the results from today's competition, and hopefully we'll be able to try and get it to you tomorrow. Let's look at your sports tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Freeport Jewelers in Port Lucaya. Fashion starts here.
Freeport has 2 large one-topping pizzas for just $21.99 at both locations. And delivery, carry-out, and dine-in options are available. Don't wait. Stop by or phone in your order now. On the mall, call 352-9191 on East Sunrise Highway, 373-8500. 2 large one-topping pizzas for just $21.99, VAT inclusive, at Pizza Hut Freeport. Make it great!
This Saturday, February 17th, the Department of Labor and Local Companies invite you to Labor on the Blocks Job Fair at the Columbus Park from 11 until 4 p.m.
Welcome to Jags International. We have Celebration, Balearia, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick to Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags, your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers to all our thrifty Hertz and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
Influenza or the flu can be serious, causing hospitalization and sometimes death. One of the best ways to prevent acquiring the flu is to get your annual flu shot. Flu shots are available free of charge at all community clinics. The following high-risk persons are encouraged to get their annual flu shots: children 6 months and older, pregnant women, adults over the age of 50, persons with asthma, diabetes, hypertension, or a weakened immune system resulting from cancer and/or HIV, persons in nursing homes, and healthcare providers. Additional information regarding the flu shot can be provided by your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Okay, Thursday, 3 down, 1 to go. Let's rock and roll.
Amen. That's going to do it for us here in the North.
I'm Ricardo Lightborn.
I'm Megan Shepherd. The Bombers Tonight continues.
Bye, y'all.
Report, get your resumes ready as the Labor on the Blocks job fair heads to the nation's second city. The Chamber of Commerce officials weighing in on the state of the economy. And the Royal Bahamas Police Force getting some much needed equipment to fight the war on crime. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts right now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
An employment boost for the nation's second city as Labor on the Blocks is headed that way. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. With major developments set to take place on Grand Bahama, more Bahamians are being readied for the market and will be employed as a major labor initiative is set to take place on the island this weekend. The Labor Minister made the announcement in the upper chamber today, encouraging job seekers to be prepared. DeAndre Williamson leads us off tonight.
More than 800 people were hired following the Labor on the Blocks job fairs held in the capital. Minister of Labor Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes made this announcement in the Senate and revealed that more job fairs will be extended to the Family Islands.
We're having an event this coming Saturday in Freeport, Grand Bahama, entitled Labor on the Blocks. It's a job fair, and it starts at 11 a.m. and ends at 4 p.m. and it's going to be held on Columbus Park.
Persons attending the job fair should bring their resumes and official documents.
I'd like to encourage all job seekers in Grand Bahama, that those who are coming out, to bring some form of identification, preferably your NIB card or your passport or your voter's card. We also want to encourage you to have a valid email address.
Registration is required and involves a two-phase process.
We register you in our data bank. So for future requests from employers in Grand Bahama, we'll be able to send you on interviews. The second process is that you will have an opportunity to be interviewed by some 21 companies.
Senator Folks told ZNS that the job fair is huge for Grand Bahama. The island struggles with an ailing economy and an unemployment rate of 12.1%. Yesterday, Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, announced plans for a multi-billion-dollar oil refinery and storage facility for Grand Bahama. The project promises to provide jobs and improve the island's economy.
Oban Energies have committed to creating 600 direct jobs and 1,000 indirect jobs during construction. The developer shall cooperate with the government to put in place and sustain during the course of the development multidisciplinary on-the-job technical skills training and apprenticeship programs designed to equip the developer's Bahamian employees with the level of technical proficiency reasonably necessary for the promotion and advancement, and shall render reasonable periodic assistance toward curriculum development at the University of the Bahamas.
The Labor on the Block's job fair will return to the capital on February 24th at Golden Gates Park. For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Peter Turnquest also weighing in on that economic boost for Grand Bahama through Oban Energy. The East Grand Bahama MP says a large energy company set to invest billions of dollars into an oil refinery represents a game changer for that economy. The Deputy Prime Minister says the technology used in the construction phase will also be based on the latest technology, and he assured it will lend no new risk to East Grand Bahama. Turnquest says any emissions from the plant will be within an acceptable range.
The opportunity that exists for the further development as a result of this investment are tremendous. As you know, if you were to just look at the Borco facility and what it represented to the development of the Freeport area when it was in the actual refining business, you would understand how important and what kind of economic impact that had on the development of Grand Bahama. All of the chemical engineers and the mechanical engineers and all of those trade and technical skills that exist in Grand Bahama came out of that development. We anticipate the same kind of effect on East End residents and on the Grand Bahama as a whole with respect to this project.
The Deputy Prime Minister says it will also provide the opportunity to develop new careers, and it can also help to spur entrepreneurship on Grand Bahama. He says it bodes particularly well for East Grand Bahama that will see its potential unlocked. With Statoil and Borco located on the island, Turnquest says there is also room for Oban Energy.
They more or less do the same thing in terms of oil storage and bunkering. There may be some differentiations that I'm not equipped to really answer, but I know that there is some differentiations because one does a little bit more than the other. But again, this is a business that has been very stable for us, has provided value to the community, and certainly we look forward to the further expansion in that industry.
Free National Movement Chairman Carl Culmer issuing a statement on the government's announcement that Grand Bahama is receiving the attention it deserves after being neglected by the PLP for 5 years, despite the PLP's attempt to use political tactics to thwart the country's progress. He says yesterday, while the PLP was playing their typical political games by trying to delay much-needed anti-corruption legislation, they learned that they are not able to stop the will of the people, as the Prime Minister announced that Oban Energy has been approved to commence an oil refinery and storage facility in Grand Bahama. This is another boost to the Grand Bahama economy that had been neglected during the last administration. Culmer says no matter how hard the PLP tries to stop the progress that the F&M government is making, the people see through their smoke and mirrors and recognize their behavior as a sideshow. The F&M chairman says the PLP will try and celebrate that they were able to delay the financial transactions reporting bill and the proceeds of crime bill that would have been debated in the House yesterday. But the people know know that they will not be able to stop this important legislation permanently. The facts are that these two bills will work hand in hand with the rest of the anti-corruption measures the F&M government has enacted. These anti-corruption measures that should have been discussed on the House floor this week and will be discussed next week will provide the guidelines, rules, and enforcement abilities to those whose job it is to ensure compliance with our financial institutions. The F&M chairman says the government has taken great steps in the right direction in 9 months, and every week you can see progress. He says the country is getting better and better, and they are still just at the beginning. The Bahamas Chamber of Commerce taking a proactive approach to help steer the country into economic recovery. The Chamber announced plans today for its second State of the Economy report that will take an in-depth look at the country's economy. The high-level meeting will also attract several foreign representatives who will share ways to ensure that the country's credit rating remains in good standing. Betty Thompson-Moss reports.
The Nassau-based meeting will allow experts to closely examine the current economic environment. There will be input from the government on its fiscal policy, the World Bank on credit ratings, and the state of the local banking sector, as well as foreign investment, the country's economic standing, and the road to recovery pertinent to organizers.
There are signs of some recovery in place. We're not where we want to be yet, all right? We're not out of the woods, notwithstanding that the IMF has given us a better report, all right? So we're looking at a certain rate of growth in the economy. So we're not where we want to be, but we are seeing that there are some signs that there is some recovery in place.
CEO of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Edison Sumner, says the recovery process highlights significant growth for Grand Bahama.
We heard recently about the government's announcement about a multi-billion-dollar development deal that's happening in Grand Bahama. We know that the Grand Bahama we're talking about through the Grand Bahama Tech Summit, there's a lot of emphasis now being placed on Grand Bahama, Freeport in particular, and that is how do we turn Freeport into the new tech hub for the country, and effectively or essentially developing Freeport into becoming the tech hub for the region.
While notable changes no doubt will be seen in Grand Bahama's economy from a national perspective, the meeting will also give key consideration to the country's rating process.
It's a very important topic for us because, as you're aware, in the last several years, the Bahamas has been steadily downgraded on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. It's important for us to understand what that's all about and how we can find ways to correct that or to arrest that downward spiral. We are pleased, however, that in the last report released that we are now just holding the position that we had, and even with the credit rating side of it, that we saw no further downgrade. So that's good news for the country. But we expect to have Ms. Nasser and Dr. Wright speak to us directly from the IDB and the World Bank about their assessment and the process and the methods they go through to make the assessments on our credit ratings in the country.
There will also be much emphasis on the ease of doing business in the Bahamas and its spill-off benefits.
And so part of our mandate and our challenge as the Chamber is to do what we can from the private sector side to assist the government as much as we can to ensure that policies are being implemented. Sound policies, prudent policies are being implemented, and as they're implemented, then the issues that come with ease of doing business will correct itself if we are able to put those policies in place.
As the Chamber is set to meet in its State of the Economy session, Sumner says there have been some advancements in the way local business is being done, and this is a step in the right direction. Betty Thompson-Moss, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Betty. And still to come, conch conservation. Hear who's helping the Bahamas. And ahead in sports, listen up to see what pool your favorite high school team will play in. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell & Letty, designed for extra miles.
What does support look like? What does it sound like when you feel the pulse of a nation? When you make a difference in the lives of strong, principled, cultured people?
who are driven by hard work and passion. People who build communities where hospitality is warmly demonstrated, because this is the Bahamas, and we're happy to share our wealth. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians. Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Every day you wake up with the world in the palm of your hand. Making connections and creating memories and sharing them with the people you care about. Every day, the world is at your fingertips, and you can experience every blockbuster movie in stunning HD and top 100 Billboard music hit with the touch of a button. Every day, your family and friends are important to you, and staying in touch no matter where you are in the Bahamas or the world is your #1 priority. And that's why, every day for over 100 years, BTC has been there to ensure that every Bahamian has the best connection to the world. We cover every island, rock and key, regardless of the cost. This is BTC Country.
With KFC's Family Deal, everything is under control.
Dad genius.
Enjoy our family deal with 8 pieces of freshly prepared chicken, large family fries, and 4 biscuits. All for just $20 including VAT. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
This is what Christmas looks like when you have a Bank of the Bahamas Christmas Club account that gives you higher interest than any other bank. And this is what Christmas looks like without a Bank of the Bahamas Christmas Club account. Which type of Christmas do you prefer? We thought so. Open a Bank of the Bahamas Christmas Club account before June 30th and get more merry for your money.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
Only at your Bank of Solutions.
Sounds like a truly Bahamian beer. Hey, too much drinking. Sounds like Ilucha drinking. Sounds like Long Island drinking. Sounds like I'm just drinking. Sounds like Nassau drinking. Sounds like Cat Island drinking. Sounds like Bahama drinking. Sounds like Harbor Cold drinking. Sounds like a taste that is fresh.
Available at Jimmy's Liquor Stores or your favorite restaurants and liquor stores throughout the Bahamas.
Sounds like
this life's made for a king. The room starts to shake so smooth if you blink, you might just miss the whole thing. It's just a different way to move in the
Domino's242.com. Order online for parties, birthdays, celebrations, and even cheesy weddings.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force getting much needed help from the United States government in the fight against crime. Crystal Darling has more.
A presentation ceremony was held today for the transferal of equipment to the police force. United States Chargé d'Affaires Denver Harron says the tools will help to protect officers in high-profile operations.
Every day around the world, a line is drawn between chaos and calm. Standing on that line are the men and women of law enforcement, people who have made a conscious decision to place their lives on the line to defend the calm, to protect the innocent, to enforce the law. This is a noble cause. Here, Bahamian and U.S. law enforcement officials come together in this noble pursuit. However, they take it one step further. Instead of merely defending the calm or remaining on the line, they descend into the chaos to prevent crime, to curb the flow of illegal firearms, and reduce demand for illicit drugs.
Harron added that as partners, the United States will continue to support the Bahamas.
In 2017, OPBAT operations led to the seizure of 915 kilograms of cocaine, nearly 57,000 pounds of marijuana, and 15,580 marijuana plants, leading to the arrest of 148 drug traffickers. These are tangible results demonstrating the merit of our joint operations. Our combined efforts have reduced the flow of illegal drugs and increased public safety, and security for both of our nations.
Commissioner Anthony Ferguson thanked the embassy for the donation of ballistic protective gear and other crime-fighting tools to the Drug Enforcement Unit, Marine Support, and Strike Force units.
These items, no doubt, will enhance the capabilities and provide protection for the officers concerned while carrying out their duties to provide safer communities. I must also say that the U.S. Embassy and its employees have always been a strong supporter of law enforcement in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so, for those reasons, we will remain united and continue to fight the cause that we are mandated to.
Officers showcased some of the equipment on Thursday, including ballistic vests, uniform, and combat boots. At the end of the ceremony, the Commissioner and the Chargé d'Affaires signed the transferal letters for their equipment. Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
With mounting concerns that if the harvesting of the country's conch population, if not checked, could go extinct, conservationists are beefing up efforts to ensure that the country has a resource well into the future. Cleopatra Murphy has the details of an instrumental signing to ensure just that.
With the Bahamas' conch resources in decline, the Japanese government is giving the Bahamas National Trust a helping hand in preserving the well-loved Bahamian delicacy. Today, officials signed documents for a $500,000 grant provided through the Japan Special Fund Poverty Reduction Program that is facilitated through the Inter-American Development Bank. President of the Bahamas National Trust, Janet Johnson, says it is a crucial initiative as conch is culturally and economically important to the Bahamas.
This project provides support for 2 pilot projects in Grand Bahama that will work with fishing communities to identify diverse and alternative sources of income for conch fishers by identifying value-added conch products and new options for employment that can make use of their skills but place less pressure on the conch resource.
IDB Country Director for the Bahamas, Maria Florencia Atadimo Hurt, says the IDB believes the conservation initiative must be supported.
That is why we also believe that involvement of the communities is key. This is not just something we do, with international support and hear from NASA. We need to go and talk to the fishermen, to the people who have lived out of conch harvesting for their whole lives.
The grant is the first given to the Bahamas through the Japan Special Fund Poverty Reduction Program and the first in the Caribbean. Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Peter Turnquest says the support is timeless.
No doubt the results from the project will add value or enhance current information on conch harvesting and conservation. Moreover, I do believe that the stakeholders involved in advancing this initiative will ensure that appropriate measures are proposed to the government in respect to the sustainability of conch fisheries in the Bahamas.
Minister of Environment the Honorable Romuald Ferreira, recognizing the importance of conch research, urged officials to engage the advice of locals who make a living from conch.
Have a mutual respect for those that are in the industry. They have information that they could share that may be very valuable to the overall objective, which is to preserve the conch species in perpetuity.
The project will allow researchers and stakeholders to identify sustainable practices for conch in the country. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Health teams remain on alert and they are taking action to address any possible new case of tuberculosis in this country. Last week, we told you that screenings were done at the Garventines Primary School, and tonight the health minister gives us an update on their findings.
We have identified a handful, maybe 10 total students, staff, administrative support personnel who have been skin tested to be positive. Those individuals do not meet the case definitions for tuberculosis. In the Bahamas in 2016, we had 89 active cases of TB. In 2017, it appears as if we'll come in under 60. We want to keep it that way. And so aggressive screening campaigns like this, where we can identify those individuals who have been exposed to tuberculosis, are very important to control TB.
Minister Sands says 25 to 30% of the world's population suffers from tuberculosis, and as far as medicine is concerned, he says there is an ample supply.
We have no challenges with treating those individuals with active tuberculosis or those individuals who've been exposed. Active cases get 4 drugs, sometimes 5. Persons with TB skin positive changes get 2 drugs. I want to remind the public that influenza remains an international scourge. Hundreds of thousands of people will die from this year's influenza season. So please, if you're a high-risk individual, go and get a flu shot. It's free, it's available at most of the public clinics and most physicians' offices.
The Board of Directors of the National Health Insurance Authority announcing the appointment of Graham Whitmarsh, an Interim Managing Director, effective February 19th. Whitmarsh will lead the implementation of NHI here in the Bahamas. The board expects a permanent Bahamian Managing Director will be appointed within 2 to 3 years. Whitmarsh worked on NHI with PricewaterhouseCoopers and is familiar with the opportunity and challenges associated with expanding and improving healthcare in the Bahamas. Mr. Whitmarsh has exceptional experience in healthcare, serving as Deputy Minister of Health in British Columbia and Director of First Nations Health Authority.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News Thursday. I'm Altaviz Munnings. The first female treasurer in the Public Treasury Department has been appointed Deputy Financial Secretary for Operations in the Ministry of Finance. An appreciation luncheon was held yesterday for Eugenia Cartwright for her 19 years of distinguished public service, not only as the first female treasurer of the Bahamas, but also for being the longest-serving treasurer in the country. Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, explained at the luncheon that part of Ms. Cartwright's new portfolio is to help the transition and reformation that needs to happen to bring in the needed talent and establish the procedures to ensure the Ministry of Finance is operating as efficiently as possible. In other business news, the Bahamas Telecommunications Company will partner with the Counselors Limited to host the 20th Annual Grand Bahama Business Outlook next week, Thursday, February 22nd. BTC's Chief Commercial Officer, Andre Knowles, will speak on the topic, A Digital Future in Telecommunications. Now, over the last several months, BTC has made significant investments in its backbone and infrastructure to enable the company to deliver top-notch products and services to customers. Former BTC Junior Achiever and Associate Director of Advisory Services at KPMG, Dennis DeVoe, will also make a presentation at the Grand Bahama Business Outlook set for the Grand Lucaine Resort. And in international business news, the e-commerce heavyweight Amazon said Thursday that it would hire 2,000 more workers in France, bringing its total headcount in that country to 7,500 by the end of the year. The expansion coincides with renewed optimism about the French economy under President Emmanuel Macron, who has promised an overhaul that will make it easier for foreign businesses to operate in that country. Now, Amazon has invested heavily in Europe in recent years. It has poured $9 billion in Britain alone, where it employs 24,000 individuals, and another $10 billion has been invested by Amazon in Germany. That's your Royal Fidelity Business News Thursday. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Downtown Nassau will get a facelift next year with the construction of the Point Project and a major redevelopment plan that is already underway. Tourism Today takes a closer look at how the city center will be transformed into a world-class tourism mecca over the next few years.
We want to create something similar to NAD down at the international airport. Have an entity come in, do a significant investment in revitalizing the port, making it interesting, making it clean, neat, less chaotic. We want our cruise passengers to be incentivized to come off the boat, to enjoy our food and beverage options and retail options, and then come either to the west and enjoy Junkanoo Beach or this product here at the Point, or to go east as we will develop a boardwalk.
The Ministry of Tourism and Aviation is working closely with the Downtown Nassau Partnership and business owners to finalize plans for the revitalization and beautification of Bay Street in its entirety. First up on the list is the boardwalk.
It has already begun. The owners of the property on the foreshore from East Street to the Sydney-Poitiers Bridge have agreed on a 12-foot wide boardwalk that will traverse properties owned by both public and private stakeholders.
The redevelopment of downtown Nassau will also see the creation of more concerts, festivals, and exhibitions.
We've engaged Pat Ramming. He's looking at our public spaces like Rawson Square. And when we call public spaces, we're talking like George Street, Frederick Street, Charlotte Street, King Street, Trinity Place, Marlborough Square, how we can program those so they can become entertainment venues.
There's no exact timeline, but officials say the redevelopment project will be a long-term one. Read more on tourismtoday.com. I'm Nakia Christie, and this is Tourism Today.
This is the start of a new day. I'm alive. Alive is igniting the mobile communications market in the Bahamas. The calls are clear. The speeds are fast. It's nothing better. This is Daryl Miller Live, and I'm alive. I believe in that.
Feel like eating something tasty that's good for you? Super Value can help you create the perfect meal when you visit the salad bars. Filled with all the nutritional choices that are good for you, our salad bars make the perfect lunch or snack, anytime and any day of the week. Eat smart, eat healthy. Join the lunch bunch at a Super Value salad bar, including the quality markets, including quality stamps. Super Value, the Bahamian supermarkets.
Ever wondered what smart health insurance feels like?
Atlantic Medical's 24/7 worldwide health insurance does most of the thinking for you.
1,500 CGI health claims are settled daily.
56% of claims settled automatically.
You can access your health plan almost anywhere, anytime.
And have smart wellness with online data tracking.
And more provider choices for you and the people who matter most.
Premier Health is smart health insurance, and it feels good.
Atlantic Medical, where people come first.
A grand opening at Rosewood, the newest hotel property at Baha Mar, is anticipated once the resort opens its doors this coming spring. Managing Director of Rosewood, Mr. Luigi Romaniello, was the guest speaker at a Rotary luncheon. He tells the group that the opening of the 22 hotel chain is extremely important for them, noting that the resort is more than just a physical structure, saying it will bring about an experience from beginning to end. He highlights what will set Rosewood apart from all other properties.
Because they often ask you, why is Rosewood different and what do you do special, you know, to make your brand better than others? And with that, you know, we have this philosophy of this guiding principle of a sense of place. So a sense of place to us means that we go into a market and we try to really expand on the local culture, the history, and trying to be authentic to wherever we are. You know, we don't want to be creating something that doesn't belong here, that is fake, that comes a bit, you know, dishonest. We want it to be certainly true to where we are. The other thing about Rosewood, about contributing to the community, is also to grow our associates. You know, 40 managers came on board, and I just did a speech about them coming on board and all of that. And I see that most of them were Bahamians.
A local music organization putting its money where its mouth is, encouraging the next generation of Bahamian artists. On Saturday, over 100 students from more than 13 public and private schools throughout this country will participate in the 3rd annual Music Project. The event, which offers a full scholarship to the winners, will take place at the Botanical Gardens. Founder and president of the Music Project is Andrew Gardner.
What we do is encourage youth participation in the arts, where we pair mentors with high school students and high school bands that comprise of 10 students. And these students compete in a competition where they are judged on 3 criteria. They have to perform a cover song, They have to perform a traditional Bahamian song, and they also have to create their own song. They write and produce their own song, and they perform it on the grand stage for February 17th. So within this competition, they compete for the grand prize, where we send these students off to Berklee College of Music, my alma mater, and they get a full scholarship to participate in their summer programs, along with a monetary prize.
Gardner says he anticipates the event to transform lives.
We give them up to a choice for up to 10 band members to participate in the band, and each student will be given that full scholarship prize to come to the Berklee Summer Program. And the reason why we chose, a program as such, as opposed to, just monetary prizes, because we value exposure much more. We know the level of importance in terms of going out and getting that worldwide exposure and bringing that back home to cultivate and create new artistry here in the Bahamas and build on our traditional music. So
Giving the child a gift of life by preserving their heart can be a costly procedure, and for years the cost of surgeries has placed a financial strain on the purse of the Sir Victor Sassoon Heart Foundation. On Saturday, the foundation will host its annual Heart Ball at the Melia Nassau Beach Resort, and Bahamians are encouraged to save a child's life by donating. It's the focus of tonight's Matters of the Heart. Improvements in technology makes it easier for doctors to detect heart issues in newborn babies. Statistics also reveal that at least 60% of heart surgeries for children are now performed locally, and in 2017, 9 children needed a higher risk surgery. Chairman of the Sir Victor Sassoon Heart Foundation, Ari Barnes, says through the foundation's fundraising efforts, they have been able to assist thousands of children, and it doesn't stop there.
Now we have 3 children who need to go over to Florida for surgery. They're all, the ones we send to Florida, the more complicated cases, unfortunately, and they're more expensive. These 3 patients will cost us close to $250,000. So we need the public's help to always be able to never say no to a child when they're in this kind of need. There's one little boy who's just a little under 5, and then a couple who are very young, like 1-year-old and so on.
Barnes says the funds raised from the Heart Ball is not enough to cover the cost of more complicated surgeries that must be performed abroad. He believes the more money raised, the more children can be saved.
We can do a number of surgeries here in Nassau, and when we're able to do that, that saves us quite a lot of money. We've never said no to a child, so I'm proud of that. But we do count on the public to come through for us. And we had a gentleman last year who walked 100 miles in Scotland for us and raised $33,000. And he's planning on doing it again this year and hopefully raising more. We had a lovely young lady a few years ago who made little hearts and was selling them for $1, and she raised over $800, I know.
But for Barnes, what makes raising funds to preserve a heart so special is seeing the burst of energy young patients are given after receiving that second lease on life.
And parents who come in after surgery, and you see the difference in the children. And, where the parent will tell you they used to be lethargic and just sit on the couch all day long, the child will now be active and inquisitive and curious and everything you would want your child to be. And that opportunity to help these children is extremely rewarding. And as I say, it's a especially special thing to see these children when they come back and are healthy.
Stay close. Sports and Family Island weather are up next. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan, and the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
This is the start of a new day. I'm alive. Alive is igniting the mobile communications market in the Bahamas. The calls are clear. The speeds are fast. It's nothing better. This is Darryl Miller Live, and I'm alive. I believe in best.
The performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Fanta, supporting the greatest expression of Bahamian culture. More than one flavor, still one family.
Time now for a check on temperatures around our family islands. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us live in studio with the latest. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, LaDawn. In our second look at weather, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the family islands, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. It is 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Toll Key, Marsh Harbor, in Abaco. In the Berry Islands, the mercury column up to 76 degrees, 76 also in Alistan, Bimini. Here in the capital, 77 degrees, Harbor Island, Eleuthera, 76, 76 also in Roxanne, Eleuthera, Stanu Key in the Exuma chain, Kemp Space, South Andrews, Fresh Creek in Central Andrews, all at 77. More 77s in San Salvador and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, 76 degrees. In Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, 78, 78 also in Ragged Island, Acklands, Betsy Bay, Maguana, 77 degrees, Matthewtown, Inagua, 79, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 78 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the Northwestern Islands, winds easterly 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. You can expect your high tide at 7:45 this evening. In the Central and Southeastern Islands, caution flags remain in place. Winds out of the east 15 to 20 knots, and your wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Tomorrow for the Northwestern Islands, no change. Those winds remain easterly 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide 8:06 in the morning, low tide at 2:28 in the afternoon. For the Central and Southeastern Islands tomorrow, winds down just a bit, but caution flags remain. Easterly flow 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into Saturday, winds becoming more southeast at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide 8:42 in the morning, the low tide will take place at 3:03 in the afternoon. In the Central and Southeastern Islands on Saturday, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, no letting up at all, so the caution flags continue into Saturday with wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
you with your boyfriend just the other night. He had you snatched up, y'all, really, really tight. I'm not the kind of fella who like OPP, but I must admit, y'all, I feel a jealousy. Every time I see ya, I break the golden rule. I had a crush on you, gal, from we was in high school, but homeboy beat me.
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast coming up in about 15 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Suicide, taking your own life, is a tragic reaction to stressful life situations, and all the more tragic because suicide can be prevented. Whether you're considering suicide or know someone who feels suicidal, learn suicide warning signs and how to reach out for immediate help and professional treatment. Suicide warning signs or suicidal thoughts include talking about suicide, for example, making statements like, "I'm going to kill myself, I wish I was dead," or "I wish I hadn't been born." Getting the means to commit suicide, such as buying a gun or stockpiling pills. Withdrawing from social contact and wanting to be left alone. Having mood swings, such as being emotionally high one day and deeply discouraged the next. Being preoccupied with death, dying, or violence. Feeling trapped or hopeless about a situation. Increasing use of alcohol or drugs, changing normal routine including eating or sleeping patterns, doing risky or self-destructive things such as using drugs or driving recklessly, giving away belongings or getting affairs in order when there's no other logical explanation for why this is being done, saying goodbye to people as if they won't be seen again, developing personality changes, or being severely anxious or agitated, particularly when experiencing some of the warning signs listed above. Call your local clinic and go and see your doctor, or call 919 if you are suspecting any of these thoughts or feelings. Warning signs aren't always obvious and they may vary from person to person, but help is available. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas. And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
The wait is over. The Music Project is here. Experience the excitement, creativity, and talent from 13 of the nation's top high school pop bands. Saturday, February 17th, 2018, 2 p.m. at the Botanical Garden. Tickets available at Airbrush Junkies, Mario's Bowling, and all participating schools. Adults 15, students 10 in advance, more at the door. Children under 5 are free. Gates open at 2 p.m. That's the Music Project. Are you ready?
If you've lost your visa, call the law office of Donette Russell Love PL. My full-service immigration firm can help you if you've been denied a visa due to deportation or removal, prior conviction or arrest while in the U.S., working without work authorization, or visa overstay. I may be able to help you get your visa privileges restored. Call my office today at 954-449-1833 or visit us at drusselllove.com.
In today's world, things are constantly changing. So the one thing you can depend on to stay the same is quality, savings, and value. At Solomon's, you'll get real savings with unbeatable prices on everything your family needs. Solomon's, real quality, real savings, real value.
The wait is over. The Music Project is here. Experience the excitement, creativity, and talent from 13 of the nation's top high school pop bands. Saturday, February 17th, 2018, 2 p.m. at the Botanical Garden. Tickets available at Airbrush Junkies, Mario's Bowling, and all participating schools. Adults 15, students 10 in advance, more at the door. Children under 5 are free. Gates open at 2 p.m. That's The Music Project. Are you ready?
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Hi, good evening and welcome to Sports Thursday. I'm Julian Gibson. No, don't get scared. You didn't miss the start of the Hugh Campbell basketball tournament. They will get started on Monday. Our Charles Fisher has the pool assignments.
Running the fast break and hoping to be crowned Hugh Campbell champs in Pool 1. Anatole Rogers, Queen's College, Agape, Aaron Bailey, Tellius, St. George's, and C.R. Walker. Pool 2. Tabernacle Baptist Falcons, Westminster, Gateway Christian Academy out of Abaco, Government High, St. Anne's, Bishop Michael Eldon, and C.V. Bethel. Pool 3, Sunland Baptist, South Andres, C.I. Gibson, Temple Christian, Mount Carmel, and Clement Howell out of the Turks and Caicos. Pool 4, C.C. Sweeting, the defending champs, St. John's College, Abaco Central, Doris Johnson, Kingsway Academy, Jack Haywood, and Aquinas.
We have moved from the blind pools in a similar fashion, with the teams remaining in their respective pools. The pools, we have a total of 28 teams. Each pool has 7 teams in it. You would stay within your pool until you get to the pool championship, where you would then have Pool 1 will cross over and play Pool 4. Pool 2 will end up crossing over and playing in Pool 3.
Technical Director Reggie Forbes indicating that a lot went into making all 4 pools balanced.
We follow the regular season of the Grand Bahamian play. We follow the private school play. We follow the public school play. And we try to, throughout the season, and see how the teams are playing and how they're progressing. Many of the teams in Providence, I have a chance to go in and observe as they compete both in the public and private sector. There was arrangement this year for me to go into Freeport, and we are pretty well pleased with the team performance and their play.
The tournament also with some rule changes.
We brought on board BBF, the Bahamas Basketball Federation. The national officials from that federation will be officiating the games in the Hugh Campbell this year. In addition to that, I'd like to inform the coaches that we will be using a shot clock, 24-second shot clock. So come prepared to utilize the shot clock. It will be used from the beginning and throughout the tournament.
Monday is tip-off, AF Adderley Gym, the place to be. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Thanks much, Charles. And if you're concerned about your safety, my friends, the Royal Bahamas Police Force will keep us safe.
The police will be out in full force. Just came out of a meeting where we were addressing the very same tournament. We want members of the public to come out to the tournament. They can rest assured that they can come with their families and they are in a safe environment where they can enjoy the basketball tournament knowing that police presence is there. And then in addition to that, we want to serve those members of the public who are intent of coming out to cause disruption, that they will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law if they come to cause any disruption at this tournament.
And parking will be a non-issue.
Parking will be available at the Town Center Mall. That particular area will be policed in terms of pedestrians who are making their way from the Town Center Mall to the AF Adderley Gym. We will have an officer posted at one of the pedestrian crossings to ensure safe crossing along that major thoroughfare.
We are having 2 of our school security officers that will be posted over in the parking lot to monitor the cars. And so we are taking that in consideration because we know that persons will have a concern about their car. And so we are posting 2 of our security officers there.
From the government schools, C.C. Sweeting Cobras, boy, they won the Senior Boys Championship, and Mario now has his eyes on the Hugh Campbell basketball champion, the granddaddy.
Right now, I can truly say Jack Hayward, Tabernacle, C.I. Gibson, C.C. Sweeting, anyone of them can win the Hugh Campbell. It's going to boil down to who comes out and plays that night.
Now, even though Anatole Rogers lost in the championship game, Coach Harcourt McCoy, he is also eyeing the Hugh Campbell Basketball Championship.
We're in the season of basketball. Hugh Campbell is coming up. Nationals is coming up. We punched our ticket to go to Nationals. And so C.C. Sweeting won the championship in GSSA. We're looking forward to Hugh Campbell and also Nationals.
Private school track and field championships got started yesterday. SAC led yesterday, and one of the reasons they led, Otto Lang in the hurdles, but he was simply ruling.
Coming through this race, I felt good. Trying my best to just do my best, and I just came home strong.
From the track and field beat, Alexis Gray, she's hoping for a gold medal this weekend.
I'm excited, I'm ready, I feel great, and hopefully I can come home with the titles in the 60, the 200, and the 4x4, and become the indoor SWAC champion for 2018 in the 60, 200, and 4x4. That would be a great dream come true, and hopefully I can run a PR and qualify for indoor nationals. And that's really what pushes me and motivates me to run fast at this meet. I will run fast at this meet.
And for the young lady, she's loving the moment.
I have no complaints. I'm just happy to be where I am at. I know I will go further, and I will continue to work hard to go further. I've been pushing myself on and off the track. My coaches keep me focused and motivated. My teammates keep me focused and motivated. I just thank God for them. I thank God for the position I'm in, because being in a small Division I school, you have to work harder to be able to compete with the big dogs, and that's all that's been going through my head, that I want to run with the big dogs. So while they're working at 150, I have to work at 350 in order to get where they are and be able to compete. So this year I've been aggressive and very motivated, very driven, very ready to compete.
And the countdown is on for Barbara J. Catch Me If You Can regarded will take place this weekend. Barbara, what's your record as far as the A-class boats catching you?
Well, I had about 3 points like Lakers. I got 3 points. You got to hit 3 to tie me. You can't. Yeah, lucky you hit 3, you can beat 2, or you might just get 1. So I had about 3 points. So it's 14, what? 17, 14.
That's close.
Yeah, close. You're too close to them.
And still on the sailing beat, Dennis Chucky Smith. He is the captain of the Lady Eunice. And after the Farmers Key Regatta, he fired the whole crew.
I fired the whole staff, from bowman, captain, crew, everybody. The only man still on the boat is me. But right now, I got my new crew together, and we'll be ready to go.
So Nabi and all of them gone?
Nabi gone. I give them about 5 years. I'm making the same mistake, so everybody gone. New crew. So you'll see a brand new crew on Lady Eunice for Ballarat in about 2 weeks.
So you think that's going to make a difference now? Y'all should be sailing much better now.
She can be reaching fire, Julian. She can be reaching across the water like, Lady Eunice normally perform, but that's the worst I've ever seen her perform in Farmers Key in all my years of sailing her, and I want to know.
Well, that's all the time for sports on a Thursday. Special thanks as always to my hard-working cameraman, Ashley Taylor. From a bow tie, he's now taking me on to a necktie. Well, stay tuned. Your better forecast still to come.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Looking to upgrade your refrigerator stove or purchase an affordable home generator? We've got the perfect solution for you. Harmer's Welding and Fire is the best choice for the lowest prices in town. We carry top-of-the-line outdoor barbecue grills, air conditioners, refrigerators, stoves, generators, industrial hardware, and garden supplies with a wide assortment of tools and accessories. Open Monday through Saturday. Telephone 394-0004. BWF, we're more than just our name.
Colonial Group International has been protecting the lifestyles and livelihoods of Bahamians for over 20 years.
The best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
family protection, and long-term financial plans.
Business insurance and generous employee benefits.
For happy beginnings to happy ever after, visit CGIGroup.com.
CGI, where people come first.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. All for you at the British Colonial Hilton. Join us for an unforgettable experience as we present the Muna Love Affair, Sunday, February 18th at 4 p.m. at the British Colonial Hilton. Reserve your tickets today at mlabahamas.eventbrite.com.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have a persistent high pressure across the Bahamas, and that means brisk winds in the central and southeastern islands for the next several days, taking us right into the middle part of next week. That will also keep a lid on the development of clouds, so we're going to have mostly sunny days and some pretty mild to cool nights. Tonight, we're going in for a few clouds, a bit on the cool side, low temperature getting down to 65 degrees. Last night, it was down to about 63, pretty nippy last night. And then tomorrow, we're looking at mostly sunny and warm, your high temperature around 82 degrees. Your extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, things getting a little toasty as we get into the early part of next week when we're starting to see some summer-like temperatures, mid-60s. But as you can see in those sky icons, lots of sunshine for the next several days. And those nighttime temperatures, you couldn't ask for better nighttime temperatures. Don't have to burn up all that electricity as a result of no need for the air conditions.
So you're saying the cold weather is gone? Or
the cold weather, at least there's nothing inside anytime soon, but we're managing to keep the nighttime temperatures at a pretty good level.
Thank you so much for that good temperature, Basil. And immediately following this newscast is arts and entertainment. And with that, we end the Bahamas Tonight, the national report for all of us here at ZNS. I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great evening, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.